Hello everyone. Hello to all of you and a very good afternoon and apologies for being late. I was trying to fix some technical here. So uh, please let me know first of all if I am properly audible or not. एक बार आप मुझे जल्दी से बताओ कि आप मुझे सुन सकते हो और देख सकते हो अच्छे से. Once again, really sorry for getting late today. You can let me know in the comment here. I hope everything is working fine. So for those watching me for the very first time, my name is Harika John Mehra and I'm your faculty of English here. I have been taking classes here on this channel and also on our other channel. So if you are interested in preparation of SBI mains, you can join that other channel for our classes there. And here are like so. We have Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays over here. क्योंकि 1:30 पर हमारी क्लासेस हो and then Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays we have classes on the other channel. उसका नाम है CGB IBPS Hub. Okay, so you will get a lot of practice sessions and I hope, I believe that you people will get to learn a lot from there as well. तो जल्दी से लाइक और शेयर कर दो, सेशन को सब्सक्राइब कर लो if you are new here for the first time. And we are gonna start with comprehension. Now comprehension is a topic which is seen everywhere, in anywhere which exam has English as a subject, उसमें तो मिलता ही है. So this is a very good practice for you all who want to work on comprehension, understanding, and of course answering. So this is the first passage. आपको आंसर यहाँ चैट में देना है. This is very simple rule to follow. There is just one rule: answer in the chat. Please follow the timer and answer करना start करो. Make sure to like and share the session. Okay, guys? So this is the question where we need to understand what author is presenting, what type of thought it is. Also, it could be the main theme he has presented in front of us. Answer to this one is C. कैसे इसका आंसर आया? Always, especially for CSAT exam, that the approach we follow is to select the right answer, at the same time eliminate the wrong ones. You cannot just eliminate and remaining one को without check करे आंसर आप मार्क कर सकते हो, और vice versa just check the right one and जो गलत है उसको I mean who cares, ऐसा नहीं करना है. So first of all, we'll read. Many sociologists have argued that there is a functional relationship between education and economic systems. So पहला वाला है, he is saying that sociologists का कहना है education economic system linked है. They point to the fact that mass formal education began in industrial society. So formal education यहाँ शुरू हुआ and is an established part of all industrial society. और इंडस्ट्रियल सोसाइटीज में हमें देखने को जरूर मिलता है. So he is arguing that industrial society is responsible for expansion of education to the mass level. क्योंकि establish वहाँ हो रहा है, begin वहाँ पर हुआ, and it is something जो कि हर वहाँ से शुरू हुआ as per what we get to see in the passage. So C is the argument of the author. Why not A, B, D? वो भी समझो. Formal education can be traced to industrial society. See, argument is something which is reflected in the whole passage. अगर हम बोले they point to the fact that mass formal, now the जो relationship between them है, that points to the fact कि mass formal education began in this industrial society. So not formal education alone, but the majority of it. Point number one, mass के लिए, plus this is just a piece of information, not the main argument. तो वो incomplete option है. Industrial society changed the pattern of education. वहां से शुरू हुआ, but change हुआ कि नहीं, we don't know. So change word के कारण this is wrong. Formal education has suffered a setback. इसका तो कोई यहाँ पर proof है ही नहीं, evidence है ही नहीं passage में. Cannot be my answer. अभी थोड़ा सा पढ़ना पड़ेगा आपको, which you have to do of course in exam as well. So please go ahead, read, answer. Answer to this one is D. So there we go. Question is, first of all, you always read the question कि पूछा गया है. So if it's an if question, that means you have to suppose the psychologists described above were to conclude from their data that some people are more willing to speak up against racism if they hear others doing so. If this is to be proven, their conclusion would depend on the validity of which one of the following assumptions. Complicated है, लेकिन कौन सा assumption हम as per the passage कर सकते. Basically that's the question. This is to trap you in the words, क्योंकि लंबा question कर दिया है. So let's see पहले बोला क्या है. The controversy recently erupted at college. कौन सा college क्यों है, इसमें नहीं पढ़ो. At a college, after student newspaper printed several letters to the editor that attacked the college's affirmative action program in offensive, racially charged language. तो यहाँ पे एक बहुत सारे यहाँ पे एडिटर को अटैक करते हुए कुछ लिखा गया, लेटर्स आए. टू साइकोलॉजिस्ट एट द स्कूल टुक एडवांटेज ऑफ द कंट्रोवर्सी. उन्होंने एक्सपेरिमेंट किया. साइकोलॉजिस्ट वन बोला, posing as a reporter, stopped a student at random, ostensibly to solicit his or her opinion of the controversy. At the same time, अभी उसने एकदम से रैंडम बच्चे को पकड़ के उसकी उससे ओपिनियन जो कंट्रोवर्सी चल रही थी यहाँ पे उससे उसकी ओपिनियन मांगी. Same time, there was other one posing as a student, also stopped and joined the discussion and made the first reply to the question of the reporter. अब दूसरे वाले साइकोलॉजिस्ट ने क्या करा, साथ वाले स्टूडेंट को पुश किया, एनकरेज किया कि वो क्वेश्चंस का रिप्लाई करे. So the experiment showed that when psychologists to express support for the racist sentiments expressed in the letters, 75% of the subjects responded similarly. ये साइकोलॉजिस्ट टू स्टूडेंट के समान जो था, स्टूडेंट के को पोज कर रहा था, जब वो एनकरेज कर रहा था, वो रेसिस्ट सेंटिमेंट्स के प्रति बोल रहा था, तो सेम चीज साथ वाला स्टूडेंट भी कर रहा था. When psychologists too express strong disapproval, 90% responded similarly. So वो भी encourage होके same response दे रहे थे. So इनसे ये हम assumption ले सकते हैं that some of the subjects in the experiment would have changed their response to psychologists once questioned if psychologists too had responded differently. So assumption यही हुआ ना, यहाँ पे conclusion वाला assumption है, क्योंकि students are getting influenced by psychologists too, who is posing as a student. They are answering in the similar manner. So if the psychologist too would have changed his answer, they would also have changed their opinion. तो वो रिलेशनशिप बताना था, इसमें थोड़ा सा लॉजिकल रीजनिंग ज़्यादा था, बट आई होप दिस इज इजी फॉर यू टू अंडरस्टैंड. व्हाई नॉट एबीसी? तो स्टूडेंट्स आर नो मोर रेसिस्ट. ये तो बहुत ही एक्सट्रीम बात हो गई, है ही नहीं बिल्कुल रेसिस्ट. देयर आर द स्टूडेंट एट अदर कॉलेज, कोई कंपैरिजन ही नहीं है. Students are more likely to have experienced racism personally. From the experiment, we don't know the number of students faced racism. So ये A B तो बहुत ही irrelevant है. Some of the subjects in the experiment knew the psychologists were posing. इसका assumption से validity से क्या लेना देना? एक random सा statement है और हमें पता भी नहीं कि किसी को पता था कि नहीं कि वो psychologist है कि actual student and reporter है. So some options are sometimes very irrelevant. आप उनको बहुत quickly eliminate कर सकते हो. Try and do that. Answer here, guys. चलो इधर नहीं तो जहाँ पर भी आप बैठे हो वहाँ आंसर करो, करो. Okay, answer to this one is A. Pioneers of the motor car industry realized, okay, first of all, conclusion है, बहुत easy question. Pioneers of the industry realized that if they were going to meet the growing demand of their products, they had to adapt the labor force used in the process. Instead of many men working at all the stages of one car at a time, they assigned different tasks to each man. उन्होंने approach बदली, okay? So many men working to complete all the stages, मतलब stage number 1 all of them, stage number 2 all of them. Better to assign defined tasks, different tasks to each man, which they would repeat on every car. तो यहाँ पे थोड़ा segregate हो जाएंगी चीजें. So what we can conclude that early motor car manufacturers intended to increase productivity, so they want to grow demand by applying the principle of division of labor. है ना, defined task मतलब आपका काम है let's say only to check the steering, and दूसरे का काम है to make sure the seats and all are at the right place, for example. So ये defined task है, not everyone has to do everything. तो वो वाली चीज को हटाकर they did something new. So this is the conclusion. The car workers became disgruntled because they were assigned monotonous, repetitive tasks. What they felt, what this labor force felt, is not mentioned, hence cannot be concluded. Economies of scale enabled early motor companies to expand. Maybe, maybe not, but again, not what we get from the passage. A bad worker would perform the same task badly on each car, leading to many rejects. Rejects की भी बात नहीं करी है, हिंट भी नहीं है, तो उसका कंक्लूजन कहाँ से आएगा? नेक्स्ट वन. This one answer is none follow. Of course, it is something that has equal chance to be answered. Often such an option, none of the above, none follow, students को consider नहीं करते, strongly consider नहीं करते. We need to know that if it is an option, it has equal chance, it stands equally to be an answer. In this case, you were supposed to check what is true. Okay, ये बहुत easy question होते हैं because you have to check the information if it matches the passage, the content or not. So many Asian nations transformed from poverty. So many nations transformed from poverty into global competitors. Asian economies expanded at average annual rates that are several times that of advanced economies over the same period. So बहुत ही अच्छे rates पे बढ़ रहा है सब पूरा. Inflation in Asia started soaring due to spikes in oil and food prices. Policymakers and central bankers are forced to raise interest rates and limit credit. तो क्या रीजन हुआ यहाँ पे इन्फ्लेशन का, which is mentioned here. But these same measures suppress the investment and consumption that generates growth. अभी growth वगैरह के लिए जो investment वगैरह होता है because of inflation वो चला गया. Combination of slowing growth and soaring inflation makes economic policy drafting tricky. Economic policy बहुत ज़्यादा मुश्किल हो जाता है properly बनाना because growth slow है और inflation ज़्यादा है. Inflation stirs up the middle classes because it can quickly erase years of hard-won personal gains. Inflation is cruel to the poor because families, poor और middle class को mention करा है कि poor because families have to spend a larger share of their meager income. Income कम है, expenditure ज़्यादा है. So you now passage. Growth rate in advanced countries was low, so the effects of inflation were not felt. Where is this given? We got to see यहाँ पर कि जो ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन है वो कैसे हुआ एंड देन जो एक कंपैरिजन है एडवांस इकोनॉमी से एशियन इकोनॉमीज एक्सपैंडेड at average annual rates, okay, at average annual rates that are several times of the advanced economies over the same period. So expansion की respect का एक आपको comparison मिल रहा है. From this, we don't get to know from anywhere that growth rate जो था was low in the advanced. Closing the economy to global markets will reduce inflation. Okay, अगर हम अपनी economy we stop international trade and all, will that help to reduce inflation? Nowhere author is hinting us that India has been the most severely affected. The most है और ज़्यादा पता चल जाता है. Anyways, इंडिया अकेले का नाम दिया नहीं था, एशियन नेशंस का नाम दिया है. तो सेइंग वन इज ऑन द टॉप ऑफ अ लिस्ट मेक्स नो सेंस. तो थर्ड वाला भी बहुत आसानी से आप एलिमिनेट कर देते थे. Answer is D. Author's view of Indian low-cost airlines. Okay, author का view and that also respect to low-cost airlines क्या है? What is he saying? 70% of the operating costs in India of these airlines are the same as that of full service carriers, leaving only 30% to juggle with to gain an overall advantage. Many of these costs, like fuel, are above global levels. Exorbitant state and central government taxes, duties are main culprits. कहाँ gain नहीं बना पा रहे, क्यों gain नहीं बना पा रहे? Few secondary airports and fares falling faster than their costs have hurt low-cost airlines more than others. Low-cost airlines में और चार पांच चीजें थी जिसकी वजह से it has been hurt, as they have to achieve higher fleet utilization, allowing low-cost airlines to utilize non-metro airports at lower charges during off-peak hours, while providing full services full service peak hour slots at higher rates could help. So there is something that could help. So वो क्या है? If question is related to this point, we'll get back to this and read again. Low cost airlines can aid the economic development, and current boom has been the right time to launch India's revolution through in their efforts to achieve economies of scale and greater market share. तो कुछ करके अगर कुछ हेल्प कर सकता है, that can in turn help हमारा all over India का economic status. They have been reckless and have gone deep into the red. तो यहाँ पे लोगों ने ध्यान नहीं दिया. He is saying India has to await second generation low cost airlines to deliver the goods. तो यहाँ पे we still have a lot going on and we have to work and improve to see the benefit of low cost airlines. So they are loss making enterprises, which is clearly mentioned here, क्योंकि help करवा रहे हैं because there are many things affecting the gains profits of low cost airlines as their efforts to expand have been hasty. That's what we get to see कि यहाँ पे especially जो later on है, allowing these airlines to utilize non-metro airports at low charges. अगर हम लो चार्जेस पे नॉन मेट्रो एयरपोर्ट्स को यूटिलाइज करने दें peak hour and all में, that could help. Now these airlines can help us in economic development and अभी का टाइम सही है लॉन्च करने का. दैट मीन्स पहले ऐसा नहीं हो रहा था. All these culprits are hurting the profit making part of the airlines. There are few secondary airports and fares falling faster than their costs. उसने भी और hurt करा है as they have to achieve higher fleet utilization, right? तो यहाँ पे because they have been hasty कि बढ़ाना है, तो उन्होंने proper इन चीज़ों पे काम नहीं करा, and that's what author का view है. With only 70% operating cost being the same, they have a major advantage. As of now, major advantage to describe करा नहीं है author ने, so it cannot be his view. They benefit from certain exemptions not mentioned. They are based on global models allowing them to compete with railways. Again, author is not comparing anything. Author is simply mentioning where the low cost airlines are unable, why they are unable to make gains and what could help them. तो इतना समझ गए तो आपको पता है कि ABC एलिमिनेट हो जाएंगे. इन दैट क्वेश्चन जो भी हमने करा, एलिमिनेशन वाज ईजियर. So answer to this one is B. Which of the following can be inferred? Inference questions are from the passage, the meaning that you understand without actually the meaning mentioned in the straightforward sentence. So animals in general are shrewd. They are very cunning, shrewd in proportion as they cultivate society. Elephants and beavers show greatest signs of sagacity when they are together in large numbers. बहुत ही समझदारी की बात भी दिखाते हैं वो। बट व्हेन मैन evades their communities, they lose all their spirit of industry. फिर वो वाइल्ड हो जाते हैं। Among insects, the labors of bee and ant have attracted the attention and admiration of naturalists. तो इनकी मेहनत जो है काफ़ी अच्छी एग्जाम्पल देने वाले लायक होती है, बट ऑल देयर sagacity seems to be lost upon separation. अगर उनको अलग कर दो कम्युनिटी से, कुछ आप उनको हार्म पहुंचाओ, सो यू विल सी दैट दे आर नो मोर वाइज। उनके अच्छे सारी करेक्टरिस्टिक्स भूल डाल देते हैं वो लोग। एंड अ सिंगल बी और एंड सीम्स destitute for of every degree of industry. It becomes the most stupid insect imaginable and it languishes and soon dies. So community में they all are working like in the best way possible, very sagacious and shrewd and hardworking. You separate them from community, their whole nature change. ये बताया है। So second is the right answer. Animals are unable to function effectively outside their social environment. That is the community. Social community उनकी अपने साथ वालों के साथ रहना है। Out of that, they are languishing and dying. So this is what author is saying. Humankind is responsible for destruction. See, author has highlighted what these animals and insects are able to do and where they lack. It's not what humankind has done to them or how it relates to them. Naturalists have great admiration for bees and ants. This is true despite their lack of industry upon separation. Naturalists यहाँ पे जो हैं, we are saying that because they have seen the labors of hard work of bee and ant, that has attracted the attention and admiration. So it is not like जो भी हो, irrespective of the fact that they don't do well when they are separated, they are still admiring. So this is not actually what the passage is saying. Okay? Elephants and beavers are smarter than bees and ants. ऐसा कोई comparison यहाँ पे कहीं समझ नहीं आता है. So D cannot be our answer. Answer इसका B था. Doesn't require like 2 4 minutes. But answer here is efficiency. Again, inference. Efficiency is all right in its place. In the shop, the factory, the store. Okay? Efficiency is all right over all these places. The trouble with efficiency is that it wants to rule our play as well as our work. Okay? Efficiency के साथ issue कहाँ आता है इस point पे. It won't be content to reign in the shop if follows us home. Okay? So it won't be able to take control just in the shop क्योंकि वो हमारे साथ it just sticks with us in a way. So efficiency can become all pervading. घर पे भी वो efficiency achieve करने की एक हमारे अंदर चाहत होगी. It's not just in the shop, not just in the factory, it's all over the place. It is pervading, found everywhere. So that's why A was the answer. Efficiency does not always pay, not enough information to understand B. Efficiency can be more of a torture than a blessing. Again, no such comparison. Yes, we have a trouble with it, that it wants to rule our play as well as our work. It wants to be there, ever present, everywhere. So that's why. Or since we have answer A, so D, B, A. Okay. Pardon me. Answer to this one is D. So, which of the following best summarizes from the whole passage, especially the later part? आपको summary मिलती है. Summary has to cover right from the beginning till the end every piece of information which is mentioned. तो उसकी summary होती है. कोई एक sentence की summary नहीं, passage की. D is the right answer because it says the varied use of umbrella symbolize the common basis of non-theocratic nature of states in Indiana tradition. Okay. So Shwet Chhatra or white umbrella was a symbol kiska of sovereign political authority placed over monarch's head at the time of coronation. White umbrella was a symbol. The ruler so inaugurated was regarded not as autocrat but as instrument of protective and sheltering firmament of supreme law. तो वो symbolize कर रहा है white umbrella. It was a symbol. It is a symbol that is of great antiquity and its varied uses illustrates ultimate common basis of non-theocratic nature of states in Indian traditions. यहाँ पे इंडियन आना नहीं, इंडियन ही होना था. दैट इज अ टाइपो मिस्टेक, सो पार्डन मी. तो यहाँ पे वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट एज अ सिंबल क्या क्या बता रहा है वो. इट टॉक्स अबाउट इसकी जो वेराइटी ऑफ यूजेस है लाइक प्रोटेक्शन, शेल्टरिंग एंड ऑल. So it is ultimately something that is a common basis of non-theocratic nature of states in our tradition. As such, the umbrella is found, although not necessarily a white one, over the head of Lord Ram, the Sultans and Shivaji. So यहाँ पे comparison भी करा है कि ये क्या symbolize कर रहा है. जो well known figures हैं उनके ऊपर भी हम इन्हें देखते हैं. So what does it mean? So the varied use symbolizes the common basis of the nature of states. The placing of an umbrella over ruler's head was a common practice in Indian subcontinent. Not sure it was common or not. We do get to see some of them, but this is not the summary. Summary is that this white umbrella means something. तो वो A में नहीं है. The white umbrella represented the instrument of the supreme law, that is true, and non-theocratic nature of Indian states. आधे में इंस्ट्रूमेंट ऑफ फर्मामेंट ये समझ में आ रहा है, ओके, लेकिन आधी बात नॉन थियोक्रेटिक नेचर वाला कैसे समझेंगे? इसका तो वो बेसिस था, इसका तो इंस्ट्रूमेंट नहीं था. तो लैंग्वेज में जो कन्वे हो रहा है, नॉट व्हाट इज इन द पास्ट. द अम्ब्रेला was a symbol of sovereign political authority. No, समरी नहीं है, डेफिनेटली नहीं है, आपको भी समझ में आ रहा है. Answer to this one is C. Which of the following, if true, would make speaker's argument stronger? Which of the statements strengthens the argument? A question is strengthening wala. So whatever the tone, whatever the support author has shown in this one, my option should also be in the same direction, the right one. English should be the only language used in the parliament. There is no reason for the country to spend money on printing documents in several different languages just to make sure that the people who cannot speak English, it's for them. So author is now saying that there should be just one language in which everything should be done in the parliament. The government has better ways to spend taxpayers' money, almost all of whom are comfortable with English. Okay, legislators who come to the capital should learn to speak English. So author is favoring English. He's saying it could be one common language. We need not to spend a lot of money in printing everything in several different languages. Who are coming to opposition can learn English language. So India has the largest English speaking population in the world. If this is true, then this makes sense that we don't need to spend extra money. Okay, legislators who come to the capital should learn to speak English, and maximum of them are already, almost all of whom are comfortable with English. This is what author is saying. Most of them are. So India has the largest English speaking population, makes sense. Individual states have different official languages. Now this is not in a support. Support is something that should be in the favor of English. Legislators who do not speak English are more close to common man. Their relationship with common men, if it is strong or not, is not dependent on English being the language we want to use. So ये भी नहीं होगा. There is currently a law that says government must provide legislators with documents in their language of choice. So Let's assume if this is true, then it is weakening the argument because author is saying English should be used. तो दूसरे में क्यों है अभी भी? It is weakening. Same passage, so I won't give you a lot of time. I'll just give you 1 minute to think of this particular answer. थोड़े से hint तो मैंने वैसे ही दे दी explain करते time. So this time you have to make the argument weaker. Answer to the last question of this session. So English is the most difficult language in the world to learn. अगर difficult होती, then why author is saying that everything should be in English? Why he is saying that people, maximum of them, are comfortable with English? Whatever author has mentioned here, it indicates that English is something most of them can speak. It's easy to access. It's easy to use, and this that it is the most difficult is weakening what author is saying here. The government currently translates official documents into more than 20 languages. So this could have been something in the support because, of course, we can see already this is being done. Most legislators who do not know English, they learn English within 2 months of the election of the parliament. So if they are learning English, they are favoring English. Okay, and this is strengthening my passage. So nahi hoga answer. Making English the official language is a politically unpopular idea. This statement argument से बाहर जाता है. We are not even talking about should English be something as of an official language. He's saying to use something in the parliament like a common language and save money that is unnecessarily being spent on the printing of documents in several languages. तो ये वाला irrelevant point है, आपका weak कर रहा है, मतलब author जहाँ English को support कर रहा है, anything that is not supporting English is weakening, and that is this option number B, that is your answer. Okay, so we are done here. Thank you so much all of you for joining the session. Make sure to like, share, subscribe. I will see you later, and we are gonna soon start with some editorial classes also on this channel here. Let me know if you people want more of that, so we can plan accordingly. Thank you so much. Take care.